a lot of youngsters, whether they come into middle school or high school, feeling entitled to playing time, feeling entitled to a certain role, a certain spot, and honestly, a certain school.
I get the tough question, man. But the entitlement issue has been something that I think players and coaches and all of us have, um, struggled with. Being a coach in New York and coming up, one of our goals was always to compete with the programs like the Gauchos and the Riverside churches that were receiving, all of all of the stuff, all of the sneakers, all of the gear, the travel money. The best players sought to play with those guys, and most of the players that went on from college to the NBA did come to those programs. But I think one of the backlash of the entitlement has been, and I've seen it, and I think this is what the NCAA is fighting against, is the entitlement that came from being a good player was not only looked at by the players, but there were some wrong courses that were reinforcing it in a negative way. And for us, Chris, Mecca, and you, Cardell, all of us has always been part of a group of people that have tried to get our kids grounded in the work. There's nothing wrong with getting rewarded. There's nothing wrong with having a shirt or sneakers or being given bags. But the entitlement, the extras that come with it, and some of the things that are seeped into the culture that are against the rules per se, I think it's a mission. And just to, I don't want to be too long-winded, but the NCAA has decided to war against the culture of travel basketball and AAU. But it's funny because what they're doing is they're setting up their own programming that's very similar to what's already in the process. You know what I'm saying? So, for us, as coaches and as community people, we have to really be diligent and understand what is being fought against and, how we fit in. So, like I said, it's a two-edged sword. I see the entitlement, I understand it. I think some of the wrong forces have come in and kind of piggyback on some of the things that the kids have gotten to make it even more than it should be. And, it's up to people like us to try to, rein it in and bring it to a place where families and players can benefit, in a positive way.
So, the last go round, people spoke about, being in the right organization, having the right people around you, and I brought up the exposure as a positive. In that same vein, that exposure creates a lot of entitlement we're seeing. If you play for a certain organization, you should start at your high school or what have you, or guys from my AAU team go D1, so I'm going D1. You got to put the work in. Like me and Cardell were talking earlier about, the whole accolades process has been reversed now. If you're in eighth grade and you dunk and you get 1,000 retweets, now you're the next big thing. As to where before you had to put your work in over time to be recognized as, one of the top players. So now you got a kid that's 13 who's probably just bigger than everybody else, who's just dominating because of sheer size, but they stop growing at 13. And then when you get in high school, everybody's skill level has caught up and they're bigger than you, and you're just another person. But you've carried this persona you've gotten from somebody that hyped you up when you were a little kid, and you decided not to work on your game and depend on your natural size, and now you're just another number. And then it becomes, oh, my coach didn't give me the playing time, or now I got to transfer schools. So, as much as the AAU gives these kids a chance to showcase their talents, in front of a larger audience, you gotta have the right people in place to keep these kids grounded, to continue to be focused on development, and to push them in the right direction. But for that to happen, the person at the helm has to not be selfish, and if they see a kid blowing up on social media or what have you, they go and try to snatch that kid to claim them as their own, with without the kid's best interest at heart. So you know, it's just a vicious cycle.
And the question was, I wanted to make sure it was entitlement. So I think, you know, in my opinion, that we're giving accolades to kids too young. You know, I got, you know, I've had the pleasure of coaching kids that in this area in Northern Virginia where I am, in their travel group or organization outside of AAU, you know, they will nominate a 9 or 10, 11-year-old kid as the, you know, the top 10-year-old in the area. Well, I had one of those kids, and we went to South Carolina, and you know, when them people started digging in our ass, he started crying. I benched him, and his mother was like, "We'll give him a chance." What? He out there crying like a little girl. So entitlement starts not just with coaches, but it starts with the parents. And so I'm gonna go to Paul VI, and then if I don't start, well, okay, wait a minute, I'm gonna transfer to this school because I'm entitled to be on varsity as a certain guy, at a certain age or a certain grade, or I'm entitled to participate in the festivities that go along with being the best AAU. And what these kids are doing, and we were just talking about it, you know, everybody has their different things about it. I just think reclassing is a bunch of coward shit. So, you know, learn to play, battle, and if you got to play up, play through. I think everybody sitting here did the same thing. So why is it all of a sudden now I got to go backwards in order to be special? So I think the entitlement starts at home.
Entitlement. This is a show on its own. I think it starts from the culture. I've been trying to be long-winded because I talk about this a lot. It starts in the park. Remember coming up? You had to earn your right to play.
It was a fraternity. You had to play your way in.
You had to earn your right. You wasn't just now kids call next and they think they're supposed to play. So you never, when you got to play with older guys, you got to pass the ball, I got to play people. You got to earn the opportunity to play out here again. And they don't get that. As you said, you get the accolades too soon.
Right or pass.
Like, why are we ranking kids in middle school? They don't mean nothing.
We ranking kids in elementary.
That's even worse. I didn't even know we got to that point. This is one of the reasons why I don't even do that age grade. I do eighth grade, my 8th grade guys usually play 9th grade and up. Because you being great in middle school, how many guys we see great in middle school didn't even make the varsity team? Because you're just good because you're either bigger, stronger, everyone, or you're a little more skilled. What happens? Everybody eventually catches up. But if you're small, you can dribble and shoot a little bit. You're coordinated, you already have an advantage. You know, so I think that's part of the problem. Just like we're giving kids stuff and not earning it. You know, it's just earning your strength mentality is gone. It's gone. Then the next thing is levels to us. So all the kids want to compare themselves to the top 1%. The top 1%. You're not as good as this guy. You're not in the LeBron James lane. You're just not in that lane. And that's okay. Everyone's not going to the league. Everyone's not playing Division I. That's fine. You still want to get a lot out of this game. I think that's also like if I'm not in that lane and I treat it that way, then it's the coach's fault. No, it's not. You're just not that good. And saying that like you're getting in trouble.
I'm not gonna lie, Arnell hit it right on the nose. Like, this generation has changed, and it's not just the kid. The parents has changed too, you know, because that entitlement starts at home. You know, where social media says this highlight reel, like, oh, makes my kid look good. Next thing you know, the mom or dad wants to build the highlight tape for little Johnny who's just passing the ball. He's not even scoring, he's just pass, but it's a highlight and it looks good. So I just think, like Arnell said, when we came up, you had to learn how to call next, and you had to hold your next runner. And I grew up in DC, so I had to learn how to hold my next, so it was going to get taken. Now, at home, or in Virginia where I'm at, I see kids that are playing, like, they're not competing, you're laughing. And it's just like and I'm gonna use it because it's like a softer generation of athletes. Yeah, and these parents don't help because
It's a show.
yeah, if you trying to teach a kid, you know, like if you trying to coach a kid hard, you know, now the parents like, well, you know, it's our fault. It's like almost like no, it's his fault.
They're not prepared for college.
Yeah, now with the younger, I don't get that either. Like when you ranking these young kids, and I think also you don't know how damaging that is to a kid who has so much so much hype as a third grader to finally make ninth grade, and now he's not being talked about.
Corey came to your school. Corey came there hype. Yeah, but again, he came there hype, and he was what? He was this big. He's a great basketball player. He's a great kid. He stopped growing.
Yeah.
And so all the hype that came with him ended when his little brother passed him in hype. You know, I mean, like.
And then the coach,
I love Corey.
the coach that loved you when you were in 6th grade, you were the #1 ranked 6th grade in the country, and they promised to help you and see you through. Once, like y'all was talking, hit it on there earlier. Once you don't become what they thought you were,
They gone.
they out of there.
They gone.
And now where the kid at?
You remind me somebody was talking about the other problem. There's way too many programs. So now all these coaches hits an ass because they want the kid. So that's supposed to have I'm not playing for you. Because if I go over here, I'm about to run suicides. You laugh, but I've seen that happen. I've seen kids leave programs. Oh, I don't got to come to practice. Like, they're giving me shoes, this, that, and the third. Some of these coaches will win so bad, get that clout. I'm not worried about developing the kid.
We was on our way to being ranked, and they was like, I'm coaching the kid. I'm like, what?
Oh my
This is a
God.
different
Don't bring that up because you will piss me off. Do not bring that up. Whatever you do, you leave that where it is. Please. Oh my God.
But that whole program,
It's trash.
So when you have the value of something, I think
I ain't got no cut card.
No, I'm saying
It's trash.
we have to understand, just me personally, like, this entitlement thing. That's why I love, the platform that I have, is because I keep all of my kids grounded, and I do have great parents in my organization. And even me, I'm not, my ego doesn't boom, so I make sure my kids stay level headed too. I don't want all my rankings and shoot. It's 10 years to do a ribbon cut.
And reference what we were just talking about, and you brought up that dead snake of your program and being ranked. And the sad thing about it is it's only one parent with one entitlement complaining to someone else that had nothing to do with building the program. And so the program has fallen off, not at fault of the coaches that are there doing the best that they can, but what happens is now the players that were coming are not, and they have to start over and they have to rebuild that program because of entitlement. That kid thought he was entitled as a junior to play varsity basketball when he was on JV because he wasn't good enough. It's simple, man.
And you can't say that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And that's the damn problem.
No, but I can say
That's the problem. The problem is you can't look at a person no more and say, you know what? You should find something else to do.
This is not for you.
This ain't for you. And this is the part that kills me. It's like you can't.
But that's why so many programs, because
Their mom and daddy gonna start an AAU organization. Right. And then they're gonna go hoard and other programs, they're gonna take his 6th, 7th, 8th man who garbage, and then they're gonna put together another garbage team, and then they're gonna go to Peak Jam and lose by 80. And who gonna recruit that? Please.
Okay?
You have to let it.
Well, kids feel left. Another problem is, I think sometimes it is the parent. The parent feels left out. So-and-so's son is top in the country, getting all these scholarships, and their son's not that. You know how parents can be competitive with one another. It's like, oh, lost Rhone, and let's get started.
I have to say this. I literally had a parent put out a video of his 11-year-old kid entitled it to next phenom. The parent. I called him and said, you don't get to label your kid a phenom. Yeah, just like y'all already.
We get this wrong.
Situations where we got cut from the team, or we got, asses handed to us. There were natural mechanisms where we could just go and we could work it out. It might have been a run in the park, it might have been a run in the gym, it might have been the coach said, go down there and play with those older guys and get smacked. There was things in place that we had already, maybe go and see, the guy that has the gym that allows you to get better. Those were the mechanisms that we had to work on our game. And to you know, it's like the end of the world. Some of the parents, you know, they don't understand how to cope. They don't understand what to do. You know, so all these, I really like when I'm hearing all these sides of the problem. You know, there could be a solution within what you guys are doing right now. So, you know, Cardell, I appreciate you doing this because I'm hoping that you can package this up and send this to some of these parents so they can hear it.
Well, we definitely gonna see this.
Yeah.
Really important.
What's wrong with
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Personal. So when I was 14, I tried to represent church. I was cut because I didn't know how to run plays. At my middle school, I had the ball in my hands all the time. I was able to do whatever I wanted. So they cut me. So Kenny P was like, listen, you can play. I played against you because he was coaching Mark Carmel. Go to the B team, learn the plays, and we'll move you up. And I have to take no offense to that. It was like I was staking it up because I couldn't run the plays. I went to school where we didn't run plays. Kids now take that as insults. Like, we want you. Just go down there, work on your game, and bring you back up.
There is no rite of passage.
Right, there's no veterans.
I grew up in Southeast DC. We played on a hill. The pole was 2 feet away from the hoop. If you drove to the basket, you were gonna get drove into the pole, right? Sometimes the ball would go in and you didn't know if the ball went in the net because it didn't have no nets. We got the best outdoor facilities in Northern Virginia I have ever seen. And I'm asking Chris, who's in Northern Virginia, when's the last time in the spring, summer, or fall you passed and saw some dudes getting up and down playing basketball outside? Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
This is that top 1%. Oh, I can't play in the gym. I can't play outside. It's bad for my knees. You 12, relax.
76 degrees of sun.
Here's another topic that I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a strong reaction. Under the table bigs. And how does that influence players and where they go to school? You see they play for the different sponsors, teams, and all that. College. What are your thoughts on the under the table deals? Because people are acting like that's just a figment of our imagination when basketball people speak on that. Parents and everybody else involved, like, what are we talking about? I've never heard of that before, and we all know that goes in.
Man. Look,
I'm about to kiss y'all. I'm about to give y'all examples.
let me tell you something. If the value of your child and their development and who you decide to put them in the hands of is worth, if you can put a dollar amount on that, then social service need to come in and take your child from you. Because first things first, if you don't have
It's like, where do I start?
if you that low where you don't have no scruples, where you trying to buy and sell kids that are 15 years old, why would I trust you with my child? You know, like if I had one of these kids that are, you know, one of these prodigies or the next big thing, and somebody came to me talking about something, I'll give you this amount of money. You just gotta usher your child this way. Nah, I'm good. Like, then you're beholden to that person. You know, they got something over you until whenever, like, you do something they don't like, and they'll talk to the school you committed to and say, hey, they took this money, and then what? Like, just, it's not worth it. Like, and for the people that are being naive and saying it doesn't happen, grow up. Like, this basketball thing has become a very lucrative business, and you know, that's basically what it is now.
Well, you know, what's interesting is that I think that this is a two-part question. One is that a lot of the organizations are taking money, pushing kids to certain organizations, right, or to certain colleges. So for the life of me, I cannot think of his name, but he used to run Triple Threat. Artie, that was his name. And he came to me. Artie used to run Triple Threat, right? Nike came to Artie to do what Takeover's doing. Artie refused it because the guys from Nike was telling him he could only send his kids to Nike schools. Someone else took the deal and is doing what they're doing with it currently. But you got two pieces where the universities are going to these tennis shoes programs, the Nike organizations that are tied into Nike, right? So the Duke is a Nike school, right? So is PBI, right? So Jeremy's going to Duke. Not because he ain't good enough. He could have went anywhere. That swish has power, and the people associated with that and whatnot have power. And so I don't want that much power over anybody. And I think that it's two sides. One side is, and I'll say it again, is the parent who may take money in order for their kid to go there, whether they're taking free flights for them to go play for an organization to help them win, you know, in a peach jam or whatever, and leave their other organization behind, or it's that organization who's receiving money from universities and whatnot. Because I thought the NCAA thing was going to get way bigger, but the higher they kept climbing, the bigger names, and so they just stopped.
And I'm glad you brought up Duke, because if like you said, once it get to a certain point, they're like, whoa, some skeletons about to fall out this closet when I'm about to fall out. They want people to believe in the benevolence of Coach K and how has this great program and he's a leader of young men and blah, blah, blah. Zion, it was proven that he said, or somebody that represents him said, I need 100 rocks to go to Kansas. So they want us to believe he would have took 100,000 to go to Kansas, but he decided to play for Duke for free because of Coach K's legacy. Get out of here. Like, in the NCAA, that's why probably why that whole thing kind of got swept under the rug. They can't have their golden boy plastered as the face of corruption.
I don't think it's
No, you can go ahead. I don't even know what to start with.
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, so, you know, Cardell, this question is unanswered, man. The whole Adidas scandal answered that question. You know, you got Rick Pitino banned from college basketball is over in the East Coast. You know, you got coaches being put in jail for illegal activity, passing money, whatever it is to, you know, benefits to kids. That question has been answered. I think that, you know, what is even more, and I'll tell you guys a story. I had a parent that actually one of the kids came up to our showcase, and I'm not gonna say which sneaker company it was, but the team that this kid was on was a Southern team, and they had about 4 D1 kids. One of the representatives came up to them and said, "Hey, listen, we want to keep this team together. We'll do what we have to do to make sure that you guys are taken care of on the road. You know, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that, we'll make sure, you know, you get what you need." I mean, they were talking deluxe suites, you know, deluxe rental car, food, dine, and the whole nine yards. We're talking crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But here's the kicker. The guy didn't know that he was speaking to a guy who worked for a federal agency. He didn't even do his homework. The parent worked for a federal. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's an open thing, man. With this, you know, it's well known. I've experienced it myself when I was young. I grew up with guys, you know, I watched the whole Riverside Goucher thing, you know, in New York, take off. There were some benefits, and then there was some horror stories with it. So, you know, you guys know the deal, man. It's just a situation where, you know, parents have to monitor their kids, and they have to assign value to them and have their kids understand what their value is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with the who said that about child services. Who said that?
Right.
Hey, y'all, yeah.
Right.
I'll take care of my kid. He'll work hard. He'll show his value, and he'll get to the level that he needs to get to by working hard and being a family man. All right. So God bless you, brother.
No.
That's the
Talking about this, but he needs to be talking.
Sure.
But that goes back to the culture thing I said before. Money's affecting the culture of the game. Kids can be bought, parents can be bought, coaches can be bought. So where's the integrity? Why even have integrity? Some people are coming into this business not because they want to coach, not because they love the game, not because they want to mentor young men and young women, because they're trying to get paid. They're like, I can hit the lotto doing this.
But I'm getting paid handsomely. My little basketball academy. However, what happens is I don't want to get paid in reference of exploiting other people's children.
You're not pimping anybody's kids.
No.
You can make money doing this. There's a right way, there's a wrong way.
Great business.
And some people don't have integrity, so they want to get however you can get. They don't care how they come, how it comes apart. So that's one of the problems. Like I said, kids getting bought.
I think it's two sides. Because you have a different AAU kind of develops a different sort of culture. I'm gonna put it with kids, urban kids. So you have certain urban kids that's and parents coming from urban areas where they just don't have, you know. So if you come to a kid and you say, I can provide this for you, and it's a parent that doesn't have, that's a very attractive thing to say.
Where's your heart? Where's your heart?
Yeah, I'm saying, we're not talking about me. We're talking about the parent. The parent is like, you know what, I work 9 to 5 every day.
Right.
To me, $20,000 might be like, man, I know what $20,000 looks like, but to the $20,000 sitting on this table to a person who's never seen it, is going to look at $20,000 and say, I can live off this if you just play here, you play here.
Yep.
So that's that factor. But then my kid is going to make it in life without sports. You see, so that's how I raise up. You're going to make it in life. If sports, you're going to play basketball no matter what. You're in a basketball family. But I'm raising you to, he's in plays. He does boxing. He does a lot of different things that he reads a lot. So I'm going to have him ready for college way before somebody can come and say, hey, Chris, here's $20,000 for your child. So I think, I will say, we do know that it's going on to that Zion. When the Adidas film, when he signed Nike, they were pissed. You know what I'm saying? So that should answer your question. When he signed Nike.
And what's interesting, Chris, in reference to what you just said, and you know, my connection with Nike had nothing to do with my connection with Jeremy. Jeremy's family, they fine. You know what I mean? So he wasn't bought or sold in reference. I was making a reference in reference of Nike's organization sending him to Nike organization, not in reference to the young man.
That's the business. I'm saying, look at the urban kid.
He
Look at the urban kid that's saying, hey, look, the mom's got to work, so she's not even at home. But if you show her $20,000, yeah, she probably go. You never know. So I think that's a huge factor that we have to start looking at too. And it's not right, but I can see both sides of the fence.
All right, Sean, we're gonna start with you on the next question. This kind of it involves you in a certain degree. What about events that provide great exposure for kids, and the kids are told not to attend because of shoe affiliation? Now, since you brought me on to Gym Coach, Scott the DMV, I've had a couple parents hit me up saying like, accuse me of funneling kids to try to funnel kids to New York area programs and stuff like that. Like I've gone to people that won't let me come cover their games anymore because they think they might be the Adidas school, Arnell school, and they think I'm gonna send those players up to James College and like be affiliated or whatnot. Like, oh yeah, I'm taking L's since I was kind of on board, and I'm trying to tell them it's not even like that. Like, if it was, I wouldn't be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you can't name one kid that has been in New York, that's transferred to New York from area high school since I started 3 years ago. Not one. So, you know, this is why I wanted to ask this question. What are your thoughts on this? Because I know with Gym Coach and Council kids that we managed to get up there, how it's boosted their stars, they got scholarship offers, they got better. You know, Penn Roseville went up there, wanted to beat Mount Vernon and whatnot. They started off strong. They got a big matchup coming Tuesday at the Mather. Gonna shut the area down. I want you to kind of elaborate on this because he kind of hits close to home for both of us.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So, you know, one of the started Gym Coach 8 years ago, Nike approached us and they said, look, we're going to make it out. That's how we wanted to work. And, you know, we came on board. You know, I said to them, I want to do this like John Lucas stuff. You know, if you guys know John Lucas, he is not affiliated, but he gets all the players across, you know, John Lucas. You know, and what John does is very much like what we're doing here. He gets a staff together, he gets the parents together, and if it's not running up and down in the gym, John actually stops and starts talking to them about recruitment, about high school coaches, JV coaches, the competition cycle, how to deal with adversity, you know, what to eat, how to rest. Like John gets into the whole cycle of competition as a, as a youth and growing up. And when I went down there and I talked to John, because Nike recommended me to take a look at it, and I went down there and I looked at it, I said, you know what, I want to do it like that, but I realized I was already doing it, John. You know, we had already instituted a lot of the stuff that I was doing, and we added more training component that, you know, Arnell was really advanced, and we were made stronger, you know, his commitment to training and do this. But what we wanted to do is make it a free zone. And, you know, I would say back in 2016 to 15, we were getting all the kids, we were getting all the Nike, it didn't matter, affiliation didn't matter. And I think that comes by having a reputation of respecting the tradition of basketball. Our tradition is always been Cardell Dudley Jr. You know, and now being from New York, he understands it. The Riverside guy, TSA guys, they always call me. And they would say, listen, we have some kids that do some work, and they come to your gym. So we will always have an organization that was outside of affiliation, that people trust us. So as far as the affiliation is concerned, they are very real. I've seen events that advertise, you know, they say that they give slots to these kids, but all they want to do is advertise the night because they're not affiliated with these things. And I think going forward, as we work together, it should always be about the development of kids, family, you know, in the community, with the vets that, you know, that I do. And, you know, like Chris Rhone brought his team up, and that was a couple of years ago. I tell you what, those kids worked as hard as any team that came up. And you know, I have so much respect for those because, you know, none of those kids back down any of the drills. They turned right around and played until the game. So, you know, I was very impressed with them. And, you know, it's just, I'm sorry I'm a little long-winded, but what I try to do, guys, I try to bring the tradition of the heart into the gym. You know, you gotta come in and compete, you gotta listen, you know, get your butt busted, so what, you know, get up, do the next drill, focus in and get better. And that's the energy that, you know, we've had, and fortunately enough, Cardell, we've had a good turnout, you know, despite, you know, the concerns about affiliations with sneakers. It's been pretty good for us.
This shoe affiliation stuff is like we spoke a lot about the culture of basketball. It's really messing with it because if we're gonna keep it real here, people running from bump. That's what it is. And Cardell done showed me the videos from Gym Couch. That's bump up there. And
not to cut you off, Sean, you both y'all know Khalil Brady. You did it with that one kid on Eleanor Roosevelt. When you gave him like 20 points in the quarter, shot him out, put the gun, like little gun gesture to his head. It was so tough that he cooked that boy so bad. Halftime, like seriously, they had to bring our kids. And I'm gonna tell you, the assistant coach from Roosevelt, shout out to him. He did a great job in the main game when Roosevelt played Mount Vernon. He literally had to bring them in like, yo, they not playing with y'all up here. Like, y'all got to represent where the F y'all from. Like, this is, y'all can't just come up here thinking it's sweet. Like that was a joke. And a lot of our kids like come up there and think, because a lot of times around here it's like roll the balls and I'll play, and they like that up in New York. That's why I love it. Like they hyped it up, like go at him. You can't guard you, hit, kill him.
You know what I told him, right? We ain't have nobody come in our backyard.
Exactly, and that's what he said. He's like, man, they're not about to let y'all come up here and beat. Y'all got to represent where y'all from. That's when I DMV, but it shouldn't. And it wasn't all of them. Some came out the gate killing, but it shouldn't even take that. You know, for that type of destruction to happen for a kid. But it should be as soon as I step on the floor.
But they put together here, they put together these mobs of kids, and they don't get no real bump. Okay?
Because all the best
they don't get no,
together.
they don't get no real bump. They go and they destroy everybody, and they beat the brakes. I'm telling you. Listen, people can say whatever they want about PBI and Glenn and his. Listen, them jokers played basketball, and I don't care who you put in front of them, they played basketball, right? And you got people in that same grouping of WCAC, who's supposed to be the best conference on the East Coast, that go places and can't win. Because listen, people got a different mindset. I was in Baltimore last night, a ranked team lost to an unranked team because that dog was meaner, right? And this is what it's all about. And everybody can't be a dog, okay? Everybody can't be, right? That's why they have Division II scholarships. That's why they have Division III scholarships, because ain't but 1,142 people can play Division I. That's all the scholarships that are out there. So, you know, the fact that people are afraid of bump, that's because they ain't getting no real bump.
But the problem with that is, I'm gonna go back to the park. When we came up, guys could played in the park.
Yeah.
So you got to see them.
Right.
You see what they move like. Even working out, like I used to go to Couch's father's workouts all the time. NBA guys come. How's that? So you see what it looks like. She's like, I'm not on that level. I need to work harder. But you never see it. You only see it on YouTube. You think you can compete until that man's in front of you.
Man, that's
Man, look here.
Real talk. I'm gonna let you. Real talk. Sean, a couple of summers ago, brought a young fella up there to it was like for their summer league, the Kennedy league up in New York, and he invited me up there, the kid, because he was like, I think he can play, but bring him up and try out. As soon as we stepped on the floor, the coach who played, I forget his name, but he played in the G League, but he was the coach of the team, one of the coaches. He didn't even waste no time. He walked up to me and was like, look, Mr. Couch, Sean Swab, he was like, look, man, you're gonna see if this kid can play right now. If he can't, y'all can go ahead and go home real quick. We ain't even gonna waste time. He said, no, you playing right now, I'm gonna go check ball. So it was like either he responded or he didn't. The kid responded, so he got to get on the team, play throughout the summer. But I like that, and he played so good that it went from, let's see what he got to, I remember Andre Bird, that he played for the Rockets, and all that. He was feeding the young fella, like, go ahead, go do your thing and stuff like that. And playing against pros, overseas, G League guys and all that, and he fit right in. But I like the fact that it was like, no, we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna see if you got it now. If not, we're gonna cut your loss so y'all can go home early, instead of staying here and just sitting in the gym wasting time and whatnot. That's competitive basketball, and they went at it. And he took some L's a little bit along the way, like savvy stuff like that. Nah, let me get that strip real quick. You don't know.
You get better from that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Like you
Games
adjust.
with a 7, you lose, hey, you gotta get off. You gotta wait. So that made the games competitive, and that's like old basketball, like how we grew up, and I miss that. It's not like that like that.
At all. Like
Yeah, we don't close the gym, man. We don't care where you're from.
And that's the thing. Around here, it's click stuff. It's like,
Man, you gotta be associated with that dude and his mama and his cousin.
But sometimes it's like, I know with me, I don't care. So it's like I'm not territorial, and I look for my kids. I'm gonna provide my kids with the best exposure possible. I don't worry about who's recruiting. I told you that because I know the value of myself. If you leave, you know, it's not gonna stop me from continuing to get kids in college. So even when you with Amir back in the day, Amir's very special to me. And he was like, yo, I'm gonna take him up to New York and see what he's about. I said, Cardell, he's yours. Why he's up there? I don't really care. You know, he needs the exposure. But I wasn't worried about when he got to New York, like, who's going to recruit them, who's going to steal them. I want to see, are you ready for this smoke? That was my mind. Like, get up there. If you can perform on that stage, I don't care what we say. We have some of them. Right now, I'm going to say this and it's facts. DMV is, every time you turn on a station, you want to see a kid from the DMV there. We are from the league down. So we're balling in the league. Now, I'm going to say, but it's not like New York. We don't have to go through New York to say, hey, let me see what you got up here. We can't take nothing away from New York basketball. And if you can play in New York, you can play anywhere.
Especially the guard play.
Yeah, guard
Our
play.
kids woke up.
Absolutely.
Our kids woke up and started playing. It was on. And it was just like, come here, no, you ain't gonna just windmill dunk on it. And they kids start like, come on, see,
Let's
you
go
guard me.
back.
Like, and I love that. That's how it should be. And it ain't like that no more.
That's why they have Division
Go ahead.
II basketball.
That DC New York game was one of the best games that we had at the gym couch in 8 years. That might have been the best game.
They can problem, yeah.
And let me, just an experience I had, the respect that I have for Baltimore and DC, Virginia, and Philly. When I grew up, we played in the rugby league, and we would get on a bus and go to Philly. We'd get on a bus and we'd go down to Dunbar. We'd get on a bus and go to DC. And I remember my coach said, listen, this is Baltimore. He said, we're going down to Baltimore. And I'm hearing that they got like these kids down there that are really good. So, y'all gotta be ready. We were cocky, we were like, whatever. It was Reggie, it was Muggsy Cole.
I don't know you, but I know y'all got smoke.
I never experienced the ass whipping that we got. At any time. We lost by 20. And the kids that we had on our team, we had about 3 NBA players on that team.
Yeah, those dudes are special.
Level. So for me, the test has always been, let's go to Philly, let's go to DMV, let's go down there, let's find out like what we got. And that's how it has to. You know what? That's why we have to continue this tradition, because it's always been tradition.
Yes.
But hey, Sean, let me interrupt you for a second. But here, and this may be off subject, and I'm asking all of y'all: do you guys feel? And this is my thought. People are afraid to lose.
That man, they protecting their image.
You know what I'm saying? People
Like,
are afraid to lose.
That's what it is.
People, man, listen. In my program now, man, I'm taking misfits. I ain't arguing and fighting with nobody no more. And guess what? If the Lakers show up, we playing them. I'm not afraid to lose. And sometimes you can get more out of a loss than a win. And I'm just baffled by this, man.
You know why they're afraid to lose? Because they're going to get exposed. Because they're not developing nobody. They're not building them in the gym. So you just want to grab. We lost. Why we lose this game? We're gonna go through that in practice. I know as a player person, like if I had a bad game in college, every shot that I missed, I would take that shot 50 times. These kids don't have that type of mentality anymore. You get better from getting your ass busted. It just is what it is.
We had guys at A&T that was on the team that wouldn't even come in the gym for open gym. Because if you couldn't run a double pick or a screen, he couldn't get a shot off. And that's what we building up now. That's what we doing.
I mean, we could look at the NBA right now. Young fella killing the league, Luka Doncic. He came and played OKC in preseason about 3 years ago at 16 years old. Got destroyed by Oladipo. Oladipo gave him 30. Russell Westbrook gave him like 20 and 18 minutes. It was a thorough beatdown.
Yeah.
I'll be dang if he ain't dishing that heat. He getting them back right now.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't be afraid, and that's why Arnell coaches our New York teams, because he's not afraid, and he's not beholden to any of the coaches in terms of, they all respect him because he puts in a day's work with the kids. Honestly, Arnell will work you out, on a slab of cement with no rims. He don't care, man. He'll find a way to get you ready, one way or another. So, we just need more guys around our kids that are not worried about losing, but more worried about learning.
Man, look here. We got one of the top Under Armour programs in the country right here, and one of the top Nike programs in the country right here. I can only remember them playing each other once.
Yeah.
Like, why?
That should happen.
And
That should happen.
and just put Team Durant with it. They coming up real quick. Team Durant, like they not. They ever. I think they played Takeover. They did play Takeover early in the EYBL, and they beat them.
They listen. Wayne's my dude, right? That's Durant's dad. They ain't afraid of nobody.
They shouldn't be.
And guess what? That little 8th grade team that Takeover had beat them 75 times. But every chance they got, they went and bumped with them. Because you got to have real men, not cowards, to go and hang out with these kids. And that's what it all boils down to be, man. Again, why are you afraid to lose? Because it affects your bottom line, it affects your kid possibly going somewhere else that you stole from somewhere else any damn way. It's garbage, man.
Like
It's
Sean
garbage.
said, he said they used to go up 95 looking for bump.
Yeah.
We got bump in our backyard. It's, and they
They try to
learn
make
from
it
it.
exclusive. Like, even do that, man. We gotta like. I feel like you should take on all comers.
Absolutely.
If they not ready to destroy them, get them off the court. They won't even get picked up. Now a lot of pros come back home. We just want to play with the pros and all. Like, nah, how do you earn this rep? It might be a dude that never played, but he got game. He want to see what he can stack up against you, and he made some of these.
That goes back to that second topic, that title. That soft generation. I'm in the league, so I
Think
made
about it.
it.
Everybody know the story. We all back. How LeBron blow up? He took out Lenny
Lenny
Cook.
Cook.
Yeah.
ABC.
Nowadays, they might not
Yeah,
have-
I was there.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
there.
yeah, you was your teammate.
I was there.
Hey.
I played with Willie Cook.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
you're right.
look, again, Kirk Smith.
You're true.
Oh, Kenny
Hi-
Anderson.
Kenny Anderson,
Calvin
yeah.
What did
Johnson.
you do?
Yeah.
Destroyed him.
He smoked his ass, right?
That was classic.
He sure did. I sat right there and watched it. And this kid, from the time he was 10 years old, played with us.
Oh,
He played with us. He was playing in the Sugar Ray Leonard League. I was 37 years old. This kid wasn't even out of high school yet. And he was in there giving us buckets. So I'm telling you, the rite of passage has to be earned. It is not given. And so many of these people, man, they don't want that wreck, man. They don't want it.
That's why I appreciated Gilbert Arenas so much.
Because he used to come down.
When he was
He's the
when
one
he
that got
was
his
playing.
start. Everybody thought it was Kevin. but
Yeah,
Kevin
nah,
came before he was young.
Gilbert came down the farms by himself. I'm here. I'm in the NBA. Y'all can't do nothing with me. I'm gonna show you why I'm in the NBA.
He gave him 63 and his shoes wasn't tied.
But that's what you do.
He has a type of mentality. Like Ron Artest is saying,
Yeah.
I'll go
Tell
play
him
this
I'm not
level.
lying. He gave him 63 with
Did
unlaced
not
shoes.
tie his shoes. Like,
And then went to do it in the county. Went down to hoop manager.
Like this-
He went literally running around the area.
this hibachi shit is real.
But
That's
Kevin
what he just
Durant
wanted to
and
show
Gilbert
y'all.
Arenas, I'm going to tell
You
you.
know, you think about that energy, man. KD the same way. He came up here in New York.
Oh yeah.
He played that.
Oh, and the Rockets-
KD just wanted to play ball.
Right.
Now,
On,
they love,
the lockout,
lockout was special.
yeah, it was.
like you love basketball.
Yep.
They love
KD
watching
just
play
wanted to
basketball.
play.
And I think that's the difference.
They just wanted to play,
Not
man.
everybody love
And
basketball.
it's
They don't.
so crazy. What was
All
his
up to
name?
compete.
They love, yeah, they just love the whole play.
Remember Pep that played?
Pep Tyson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pep Tyson got his claim to fame when he crossed up Pinion up in Urban.
My man was always tutu.
Right?
He used to love tutu. After game,
Oh,
shout out to
yes.
He got his thing off
Yes.
getting at Mike Bibby.
Yes.
Tutu was my man back
Yes.
in the day.
Yes.
Yeah. And
New York, got pros come to Rucker Park all the time. Get cooked up.
Yeah.
Because they don't care who you are.
That's how it should be, right? But if you gonna make it exclusive, only pros only, you street ball cats can't come. I'm like,
that's called the NBA. That exists already.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
fine. We don't
right.
want to see that. We want to see something else. Like,
the next question I want to ask you guys, we can start with you, Sean, work our way around. Can players playing on non-shoe sponsored programs truly obtain high major offers and consideration? Now, D1 high major if you're not on a shoe affiliated team or program.
You know it's difficult. I think the only way to counter that would be play on a very good high school team. You know, if you're not on a major shoe, I mean the way that it works, you know, these coaches now they go out to the high schools, and then during the open periods, they only go to the major shoe, you know, the major events. They don't go to any of the smaller events. So it's like really hard for a kid if they aren't part of that network, whether it's a high-powered high school or in a conference that they can be seen and judged up against, to be recruited, on that level. So I'm saying the only counter to that would be to be with a good high school program.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. You got to get that exposure somewhere, and then it is difficult because, like Willie touched on earlier, these kids are being funneled based on their shoe affiliation teams or what have you. So you got to be super special to circumnavigate all that, or just luck up. But you can't just be playing in the middle of nowhere and expect to gain that level of notoriety just because it's a lot of politics involved, as we all know, which is unfortunate because there are some kids in the middle of nowhere that are good enough to play at that level, but unfortunately they won't get that chance just because of a relationship they have or don't have.
Hell no. No disrespect to either one of y'all. All right? I took my rising seniors to hoop group, and they got 4 black courts. Right? They got 35 courts, and all of the high schools is 800 teams there. Right? And only the top shoe people played on the main courts. Right? We played one game at a high school that was 30 minutes away. There wasn't no coaches there, dog. And so the opportunity have been given to the kids that are playing in the shoe areas, unless you create a video of your son and you deem him to be the next phenom, it goes viral.
It's difficult. I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's difficult. One of the other problems is if you're not a sneaker team, you're gonna lose kids. That's the other problem. You're gonna lose kids. So you could be catching rec 8th and 9th grade and 10th, 11th grade. They go into this program, go into this Nike EYBL, they're playing Adidas, whatever the case may be. But I think if you do play for a strong high school, it can kind of exceed that. But you have to play for a strong high school. But I've seen situations where a kid, I won't say names, a kid played at one school, transfers, goes to a school in the next pack. Now all of a sudden he's getting major D1 goals. So his game didn't change that much. He was just playing in front of the right people. So we can't know that is a thing. So it's difficult, but I don't think it's impossible.
I think it's difficult. We've been fortunate to do it, with like an educator who's playing at Vanderbilt. He wasn't on the shoe sponsor team, but that's one of, it's hard. But then I've seen mid-majors.
And he a big man. So
it helps that he's 6'10", 6'9", too, So, but I also say, like to Sean's point, you have to have the kid in the right high schools because, or with the AAU, I do think the sponsors, their networks are so much bigger, and their relationships are so much bigger where I can make a call to the Richmond coach. They can make the call strictly to Coach K and say, look, so I just think it's difficult, but I think it can be done.
Yeah. Hey guys, you remember Desi Rodriguez from Seton Hall?
Yeah.
Played with Isaiah Whitehead.
Right.
So, this was back in 2015. I was the public school, New York City public school basketball commissioner of the borough of the Bronx. So my job was just to, watch all the games, watch all the leagues, keep the coaches current and in rules. Just doing all of that. So I go to Frederick Douglass Academy 3, Arnell, in the Bronx. That's where Bingo, runs his his tournament. That high school,
The preseason tournament,
And Desi Rodriguez is playing there in the B division of the PSL. That's the 3rd division. That's not even the 2nd division. That's the 3rd division. So here's a 6'7" kid. He's killing. He's in 11th grade. I'm like, yo, I was like, who do you play for? And this guy in the middle of New York City. He said, listen, I don't play summer ball. I'm other religious. I just play. I just have to be out in the park playing. So I said, you're not really gonna get nowhere unless you play. No one knew about this kid. The next year, he was on Lincoln with Isaiah Wright. And the year after that, he got a scholarship to Seton. So, you know, to my point, you know, no one knew this kid from Adam. He was out in the local tournaments, not traveling, not doing anything. No one was picking him up, and he gets to the right school and he gets picked up. And the hoop group I consider to be a circuit. Because, you know, Robbie Kennedy and those guys, they know everybody. So I would consider the hoop group a place to go to be recruited.
I was gonna say, like we were talking about this earlier, like when I first started coaching, that's why I was pushing a lot of kids to the PSA program, to the Rents program, because they had the game, but no one knew who they were. They weren't being seen. And I think one of the last frontiers we had for AAU, like that was kind of like it didn't matter about Sync Company, was Fab 48. But now it's no longer live period. That hurts the kids.
People getting tired of Vegas.
Understood, but like, but that was one of the places where like, if you winning games and you producing, you might get a scholarship. And now that's one. But Hoop Group is one. I forgot about Hoop Group. There are one program where like you kind of, you have a chance where you can get some showcase, get some exposure.
Well, and again, I wasn't bashing Hoop Group because you know my kids, they're not, you know, they're not those guys. They're gonna go Division III. They got great grades. They got great families. However, they're not just putting anybody on them black floors. That was my statement. So,
That's facts.
so regardless of, you know, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm bashing nobody. I'm speaking from experience that if you're not one of those shoe companies, them black floors that's built different, your ass ain't getting it. Y'all can take that wherever y'all want to take it.
What do you call it? There's a kid named Adrian. He played at Bishop Lock.
Right.
He got a few Division II, a few D1 looks. He goes, plays in NESPAC. He's at Michigan right now. His game, like I was training him that summer. I'm not taking credit for him. He already had Division I capability. The problem was no one really seen him. He played somewhere Born Ready Elite, which I think they're Under Armour now. And that was his ride to go. He's at Michigan now.
So one of the greatest stories that I've ever heard is one of my kids walked on at Villanova, and you know, Josh Hart was the Player of the Year. When he got offered a scholarship to Villanova, the coach didn't even come to see him. He came to see somebody else. And he said every time he looked up, Josh had the ball. And he was taking the ball from the guy he was recruiting. So he stopped recruiting that guy to recruit Josh. So, you know, in hindsight, yes, there are opportunities. However, Josh played on one of those teams that played on the black floor.
There you go. but speaking about Josh, I saw him at DMV Elite. You know, it was at Trinity. He played against Deion Wiley at the time. He told me. So Deion Wiley destroyed him. I was like, who is this? What the? And Deion had all the hype and stuff like that. He came to Josh mad and killed him. I was like, yo. And then, long story short, he get to Villanova and all that, and then steady climb. And now he in the league doing what he's supposed to do. So,
I got this thing I can go to.
oh, go ahead. So, we're gonna do it. So, next question I want to ask about transfers. Kids who transfer out of their hometown areas to escape hometown politics, so they can get better offers and get better. You know, I mean, it happens. And even here, people don't want to say it happens. You just said earlier, WCSC school, it happens a lot.
That's a good topic.
So, what
I
do
don't
y'all
even
thoughts
know where
on
to start with that one.
Go ahead.
Big tap.
Go ahead, Sean. You can talk on that.
Somebody else start.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, let me say, I'm gonna go back to two things for me. Transfers, right? And then we just was talking about as far as like the kids and what was we just talking about? It really just made me laugh.
No, transfers out there.
No, it was our last topic. Really crazy.
Okay.
You get how many wrong?
Oh yeah, my fault. So look, so with me, I'm in a town where I know what it takes to get a kid to college. My resume says Chris knows what it takes. Now, I have a kid now that I'm looking at and I'm saying, if I transfer this kid out, and I've done this before, right? The whole town is going to say, oh, you're taking our hometown talent. You're sending him to a school where he can be positioned right. So it's almost like they're holding the kid back for this high school, public school fame to say, we can win. All right, but you can win. But if you're not winning those states and you're not, and coach is not walking in your gym, you're holding this special talent back. So, with the transfer thing, sometimes I think a kid like myself, I want kids to transfer out because we can position them. But I'm getting caught with so much flack on that, that it's like, yo, well, stay there then. But then the counter is, a lot of kids transferring now because things, like you said, the entitlement, things are not going their way. So I'm just ready to say, hey, I'm gonna go over here to make it, to create another opportunity for myself instead of, like you said, putting the work in and just grinding your way to the top. So I see both sides. Well, my experience is I had both sides of it. Do I like kids transferring? No. But if a school's holding the kid back and they come to me, I'm going to tell that parent, I'm going to educate that parent and tell them, look, you have to get your kid out of this school if you expect for him. If he has dreams of playing college basketball, he's not going to get it here, in this situation that he's in. And that's not to bash high schools either, but you have those special talents that come along. Okay.
Well, to me, I get a lot of flack for this in New York City. I'm gonna do what's best for the kid. I can give a damn about your program. I'm just keeping it 100. So if this kid's leaving, it's best for him, for his dream and his opportunities, and he has a legitimate chance of playing on that level, then he needs to go.
You gotta go.
The problem is people think I'm a handler. I'm not going to school getting his transcript. Kids come to me, hey, what should I do? This is what we're gonna do. And the problem in New York is there's so many 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" kids that are really wings because there's not a lot of big men to see where they play.
But where they put them at?
They put them underneath.
They put them underneath.
Put them underneath. So now, how's it gonna help them get recruited if they're not playing in their natural position? So why not take you somewhere where you're playing with other bunch of dogs, you get work, you're gonna get pushed in practice, and you're gonna play your national position. Like I'll bring James Bodine, for example, right? He was on the side, I went to the side. So obviously I would love for him to stay there. But was it the best move for him? He already won back-to-back MVPs. He's averaging 30 points without even sweating. No, we want to be Duffy. Or you're gonna be with Ish, and Ish gonna push your ass every day in practice. You play against dogs where if you don't show up, you're gonna get your ass bust. Like I nicknamed the effortless one because he don't have to play all. Now he's in a situation where that's not a choice. So that prepared him going to UConn where he has to, you have other dogs with you. So if you ain't out, you guys in practice, you're not gonna play. So it's what's best for the kids. So I don't have an issue with transferring. That's a big thing to say. Yes, we want to keep all our homegrown talent, but some facilities are better than other places. Kid can live in the gym. I'm sure I can attest this. There's so many places where kids can't even get in the gym just to shoot around. They don't have that option.
Same thing here.
So I go to boarding school where once I'm done with classes, I just go in the gym. I can lift. They have guys there that work me out. So I went post-grad. I went to West Missouri Academy. Out of LaSalle, it was like night and day.
Like Team Durant actually did a very smart thing. They partnered up with the St. James, but they got a facility, a first-class facility, floors,
You seen that facility?
Man, that thing better than some NBA facilities, man. And all their teams practice there. So they got everything they need. There's no excuses.
And I came back, I was like, yo, you got a lot better. Because I'm in the gym every day, nothing else to do up there.
Exactly.
I learned how to properly lift weights. So to me, if it's gonna benefit the kid, then cool. If you just leave because you think you're better than you are, or you're being impatient, don't want to wait your turn, or pay your dues, or earn your stripes, something we already talked about, then I don't like the transfer thing. Don't run from the bump.
Don't run from it,
But if you're already dominating and you ain't getting nothing out of this, like let's say as a kid has reported in a B division school, but you can play AA, it's time to go.
Like if it's for the kids' benefit, I'm all for it. Like you guys getting flack for putting kids in the best position possible, that comes from somebody being selfish or they got something to lose by that kid going somewhere else. Like it's kind of, I liken this topic to people complaining about top athletes not going to HBCUs, like as opposed to, high major PWIs. Like, let's be real. Like, some of these HBCUs don't have the facilities that these other schools have. Like, why are you asking an 18-year-old kid to sacrifice top-notch facilities, exposure, training, better team trainers, better doctors, all that, just to say, yeah, I'm pro-black. Like, nah, man. Like, that's dumb. And you don't even go watch HBCUs play. You know why? Because they got kids that train at lower level facilities. Go watch that product that those facilities produce, and then maybe you have a leg to stand on to tell somebody to sacrifice all these benefits from the hard work they put in since they was this big to get that opportunity to play at a Duke, a Kentucky, a Kansas, a UCLA, or what have you. Like, it's pure selfishness.
I'm not passing out as a kid playing 8 to 10 nationally televised games in college. What kids doing that?
No, I agree, but I think from the HBU standpoint, I think we're looking at it from a what if. If we do have a Zion Williamson signed with Howard, it might open up an entire platform of now having the HBCU played on national television, so that will bring more money. So I see that, but I mean. That's just my opinion. You know, I think people are looking at it from a what if standpoint.
Right.
Like what if Michigan?
But yeah,
What
if
if just
he did do that, but my thing with that is, Blue Bloods ain't gonna take that lightly. They gonna come with the heat. They gonna be digging up everything.
That's true.
$100 when you was 9 years old. I was there. Man.
That's true.
They gonna jam
And-
and the HBCUs ain't got the resources
They don't have
to
the
fight
resources
that.
to fight it. Or the
They
lawyers.
not gonna take that line down. They gonna be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like what happened? I mean, certain recruits don't go to certain schools now. I mean, all of a sudden, violations. Like, what
That's the part of it nobody's thinking about too.
So that's my
Like,
thing. They
it's
gonna come after
a lot that goes with that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure to put on a child. Like, I know we kind of got off topic going into this HBCU lane, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a child in that position. Like, you're 18, you're still a child in my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't expect them to, like, why are we, and
Why are we treating kids like adults? That's what we want to say.
but I'm gonna get real personal right here. A lot of these HBCU coaches don't do their due diligence. Like, why are you complaining about Zion going to your school? Zion's not going there. Let it go. But there's a lot of other kids you can get if you get off your high horse and go out there and recruit and pound the pavement. They will come to your schools. Go get the kids you can get.
Open at North Carolina Central. I mean, he got that team in the tournament every year. He getting those guys. He getting guys from gymnastics, guys that may transfer, went to bigger schools and panned out. Who come here, they thriving. He can coach his butt off.
Yeah.
So it's just about, and he acknowledges we don't have the same resources, but I know he's respected by Coach K, all Tobacco Road, Roy Williams, all that.
Absolutely.
He's down there, he's mentioning the same breath. That's what it takes. And to go back to the coaching with you, like you said, you got like six, seven, their wings, but they're playing power forward in the center or whatnot. But to me, that goes back to coaching, because we just saw it around ourselves documentary. When Lamar hit that growth spurt, he was still running point, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, it catered to your
But there's
skill
other
set.
tall guys on that. That was when, like, that was, I call it like the end of the golden era in New York City. I think it's starting to come back. Where like the Cavs schools they had other guys that were big. So he could play his net. Rhone played on the wing at the South. Rhone wasn't playing power forward. There was someone 6'8", someone 6'9". But you go to what these other kids are playing, where like the kid I just mentioned, Adrian, he's 6'6", playing power forward.
Right.
No one knew he could shoot. Because he's being a good kid. I'm gonna do what you asked me to do. So no one saw that part of his game. No one saw he could put the ball on the floor. And that hurts a lot of kids.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying listening to y'all. Good information. It's just making me smile. I got a big behind smile on my face. You know, we got some thought leaders, very thought provoking, but you know, I went to prep school myself because I was actually I graduated high school when I was 16, and I only had one D1 offer coming out of New York because my dad held me out, and I didn't play for any of the big teams at the time here in New York, which was Riverside and Gauchos. Even though they came for me, you know, they said, Mr. Couch, you can travel with your son. We'll take it all together. But my dad's like, nah, he ain't going with y'all. I don't really know. I don't see nothing. You know, I can't. I have to remain politically correct. So.
I know where you're going. I got it. Picked up the vibe.
But you know, he had concerns with me traveling. So went to prep school. I went to the high school in Princeton. And I went down there, and I always had access to a gym because of my dad. But I went down there, and I got 15 scholarship offers. 15. Notre Dame was one of them. Yeah, ended up going to Columbia because I made a promise. Because Columbia was the only school that was recruited out of public schools at the time. So, like, you know, when you talk about these things, you know, I was that kid. You know, I was Arnell. I was that guy. You know, good player, a little young. Kenny Smith, Mark Jackson, Ross Strickland. You know what I'm saying? They were the guys, and then there was a whole other. It was like about maybe 5 or 6 other guards floating around that were NBA too. You know, Steve Burke, Kevin Williams. They played in the league for about 4 or 5 years too. There was about 7 NBA caliber guards in New York City at the time. So, you know, I was kind of lost in the cracks. So I had to leave to get seen.
That happens. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's too much talent there.
It is what it
You
is.
do
You
a
know,
look.
I have no problem. My dad was wise enough to let me, you know, get me out of there. And, you know, it worked out really well for me. So there's nothing wrong. If you got to transfer to be seen or you need to take an additional year to, you know, go to a prep school to get a opportunity, go for it. You know, do your thing. Sure.
Last question for you guys before we wrap up. What needs to change in AAU so it can truly be what it was meant to be for the betterment of the kids?
Man, there needs to be some type of. First of all, stop letting everybody say they got an AAU team.
Yeah.
Like, but when another conversation we had before we got on, when we was coming up, AAU meant something. Like, you had teams with DeMar Johnson, Keith Bogans,
I'll bring up that name.
Brian Chasen,
I'll bring up that name.
and James White on the same team.
You have to smoke this one year.
So, like, yeah, man. So, like, you know, you had it meant something. Now you just go online and get some pennies and throw some numbers on them and say you got an AAU team. So it's that AAU used to mean you were the D1 guy.
Potential. Not
Yeah.
even well when it first started, but
Yeah.
like when I came out, it kind of changed more. It expanded a little bit more, but
Yeah.
like we couldn't be the Salt Blue Williams. Like those were the
Right,
teams.
right.
And Team Mello. I mean not Team Mello, but what was the jump called? Be More Elite up in Baltimore. Where Mello and all those guys played. Those were the 3 teams. Like everybody else was chasing, but it wasn't that many AAU teams. You either had a trial or they were, you know, they recruited you. But it's like I went to college, and I was preparing for overseas, and I was like. Go on my knee. Then I got back into coaching. It's like 30 AAU teams in the city. I'm living in Bowie. I'm like, what? It's Bowie, then it's North Bowie, then it's South Bowie, and West Bowie. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it ain't just me. My man Bird played overseas. He coached at UMass World. He came back and got the assistant coaching job, and he's actually thinking like I was. Like it was like how we grew up, and he's out of touch. He was just like he had to learn the landscape of AAU all over again. He was like, who's what? All these teams, like, what's going on? And he total 360, and it changed that quick,
Real quick.
And I think social media kind of
Ushered that in.
yeah.
What about his dads? He was just saying, "Oh, my son ain't make it. Let's start a team."
That's exactly that's how I blew up. It's just
It's when I came up in New York City, like I said, it was maybe 5 or 6 respectable AAU teams, and that was it. And like I said, it was dudes that went D1 that was tough, never played AAU their entire life, because there was only so many opportunities. And now it's like there's kids that can't even make their middle school team, can't make their high school team, didn't play JV, playing AAU. So now like the competition is watered down. Like I played in them, what was it? Not a few months ago, played in zero gravity. I didn't even have my best guys. We beating people by 60. I'm like, and I see other people always bragging about winning zero gravity. We beat everybody by 60. I don't even have none of my big men. So it's like it's too many teams. Now we can't stop that. We can't do something where there's tiers. Like Adidas was trying to do with the silver, it's tiers. So if you want to come up to here, you have to prove to us that you can play on this level. Because AAU, like I said, was for the elite. It wasn't for everybody. And we're in this society now where everyone wants to be included. Some things are just not for you. There's levels to this.
But I mean, if you see it's 1,000 AAU teams in one area, and you want to run a zero gravity tournament and charge them $425 a piece, It don't matter if they got people that can't walk and chew gum at the same time on the court. Then
Well, we talked about earlier, money's been kind of the cancer of the whole culture.
need some type of gatekeeping going on.
And it's like that with me, like Jim Coach. Like, yeah, people reaching out to me, like even Chris, my guy. But he sent me a video on one kid, he's like, man, I'm trying, I like, I don't think you ready, dog. Like, I can't send roadkill out there.
That technically, that wasn't on me. I got that video. I was like, I just called my man. I was like, yo, you know, you just sent me this, right?
Sean, give me the look across the jail, like, Cardell, what's up, man? Like, my favorite, man.
That was one of them highlight. That was one of them highlight drinks where you just pass it. I was like, I
But
can't.
there's good highlights and there's bad highlights. As a coach, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
If it took you 30 games to put a 2-minute highlight tape together, there's a problem. It should be for one game.
Listen. If I don't know nothing else about New York, I know it's gonna be some tough guards every year. I can't send a guard up there because look, Khalil Burton, they waiting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. I ain't trying to have
Dudes didn't show up.
I was doing
Ask the
that
dudes that were
for.
supposed to play it, didn't show
Oh,
up.
I know.
I was
We
doing
did
that
too.
for.
Like they last night, so I had signs and everything. I mean, look, man, it is what it is. But that's how it's supposed to be. They supposed to understand when you go up there, you represent the DB, and they try to hold it down for New York. So let's rumble.
Like,
I seen the kid, but he's not bad. He just hit that video you sent me. I was like, oh my God.
Khalil,
Sean, that wasn't me, Sean.
Khalil ain't
I was
playing.
looking out for a friend.
Khalil and Julian, because it's two Juju.
Yeah.
They don't play, man. If he dies, he dies. That's what I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
hey, I love it. And I'm like, I ain't trying to give him a body like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, man, look.
Cut it. He was like,
I was gonna sub him out. He's like, nah, man, he's working. Let him rock.
Nah, they either gonna respond. I mean, and then you know Lumi from Eleanor Roosevelt, he's like, he had to tell young boy like, nah, they had to be like, nah, we gotta save you, dog. Like, you sit down a little bit. And he was hurt. He was on this stuff, but that's basketball.
facts.
But he's gonna be better for it this season as they go along. So
He's not motivated to work.
exactly. So go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I just to get back to the question of AAU basketball, I think, you know, there's a difference between, you know, what Arnell is doing with his team, the Team Mega, because it's beyond AAU. Like his program is elite. You know, it's approaching a place where it should be considered with, you know, the Team Mellows and the PSA Cardinals, and it should be a part of that process. I don't know if that's what you're building to, but that's what it should. But I think we have to. I don't know. I can't speak for you.
That's the goal. I mean, the funding's been an issue. That's the goal, because like I said, and you know this, I've been funding, fueling all these AAU programs for how many years now? I'm training their kids, I'm giving them kids, I'm pushing kids to their programs. Like, why don't I just do that for myself? So now I've been put in a position to help the kids that may not be the 4 or 5 star recruit, the 3s and the 2s, that have that potential but just need to be seen and showcased.
Right. So what the NCAA is doing now is they're trying to get people like Arnell and Chris to send their kids to these open period camps that they're at, that have taken away the Las Vegas stuff. You know, so that's been the move. So now, you know, the coaches are not there. They're at these, you know, big multi-regional events. And guys, the kids that they're selecting are not really that good. You know, like the majority of them are not as good as, you know, some of the guys that you work with. And then a lot of the coaches are just saying, listen, you don't really need to go to that.
Exactly.
You know, for whatever reason. So, you know, I did my scouting on the event, and there's a couple of things that are wrong. You know, you have college coaches there that are bashing AAU. Then they're talking about eating right, you know, training right, and then the kids go and have hot dogs and hamburgers. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they're talking about having, you know, there's like certain things that you have to do, protocol with your coaches. And like, these are college guys who are numbers-oriented guys. They're analytic guys. You know, and there's nothing wrong with numbers. Like if Arnell sat down with y'all, I challenge any of y'all, talk numbers with that guy. that guy will talk you around and through or whatever. Arnell understands the numbers like no other guy, you know, and that's good. But there's also a part of the equation, guys, where a grown man that has to be an uncle, a father, or a motivator has to get in front of these kids and tell them how to be men and how to be responsible and how to work. And that was always the beauty of good programs in Philly, in Baltimore, in New York. There was this one dude or two guys, even three, that were like, yo, listen, you have to do X, Y, Z, and you have to respect the coach. And the kids would come, they'd be a little wild, they had a little street in them. But 9 times out of 10, these kids were built to, and pressurized, you know what I'm saying? To win games, to understand how to carry themselves on the court, and were being taught how to be men off the court. You know, and for us as a group here, like as I call it, with a board here, right? Like I'm thinking that one of the places where we can really make a difference is with the NCAA. And I don't know how y'all feel about the NCAA, but right now they don't understand what they're doing with their canon right now. It's haphazard. There's no form or reason to it. It doesn't make any sense right now.
But Chris, real quick, how do they not understand? How do they not understand when they have former all-time legends like a Grant Hill, people supposedly David Robinson associated with it? That's what's confusing me.
They're too far removed from it. To be honest. Well, I'm sorry. That's. I'm not trying to be Christian.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying that, you know, while those guys understand the process, they're kind of removed from, I think, the nature of, you know, the younger dynamic now. You know, they're not there with the high school coaches, they're not there with the AAU coaches. You know, and I understand that they want to teach, you know, the Admiral, Grant Hill, I mean, these are stand-up guys. They're, you know, professional. They have the decorum. They speak well. They represent everything that we want our children to, you know, be like, look like, and have an opportunity to be. But at the same time, in the trenches, you need individuals that can relate to them, can talk their talk, you know, and not only talk the numbers, but also talk the process with them. You know, those guys are guys that come in and kind of talk about their experiences and try to relate to the kids. All right, I watch kids not relate to guys like that. Sometimes they don't even relate to me. You know, and I'm in the trenches, so I just think that there's a better way for it to be done. You know, where there's a more organic process, and you have individuals who are more motivators, and that understand how to keep the kids dignified, keep them, keep their personalities, keep their edge, but at the same time be respectful. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, we want our kids to be dogs at the end of this, you know, and represent our communities and our programming in our work.
Sure. Anything else anybody want to add?
I want to ask, just for me, I think I partner with the Youth Development Center, and I think what I'm trying to do now, and I think really we all should be doing is educating the parents. You know, we really got to get back to finding that, to that groundwork of, look, let's educate these parents.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a, like I'm building a program with the Youth Development Center where we're about to really build the entire student athlete from an early age. They might not go to school for basketball, but we're going to make sure they position to go to college for something, you know. And I say that to say we have AAU programs in my community that's talking about they doing JV and varsity. I told y'all this, JV and varsity AAU, and I'm like, that don't even make sense, you know. But a parent is saying to themselves, you know, let me go ahead and sign it up so my kid can have an opportunity to play. Or you have a kid that's 6'5", and you have a program that's recruiting, right? And I'm like, if you get that kid that's 6'5", even though you get him, now you go play in a tournament somewhere that means nothing, you win a trophy. But what happens to that kid? And now all of a sudden the parent can have the kid can attain all of this success, but you hold the kid back because of your selfishness or your lack thereof understanding what AAU is, because I can do it. So I think we got to get back to just educate, educate the parents first to say, maybe let's not, your kid might not need to play AAU right now. Let's train them and develop them and let's get them ready and wait until 6th grade and then let's try it again. Instead of just pay $400, $500, 6th grade, Johnny can't play, he riding the bench and now all of a sudden he's playing AAU, but he's not learning anything. And then you hiring these coaches from these watered down programs, they hire anybody of no value, no substance. So if you, and I'm like, you don't have to play basketball, you got to know something about it. But if you putting anybody, and like I don't want anybody training or coaching my child, you know, and that's just facts. Like you have to, like you said, we have to teach these young men how to be men or young women how to be ladies too. So you don't want just anybody, you know, just coaching your child. So I just think we got to start educating the parents, and the parents got to start. They have to start using their resources too, and stop listening to everything they hear. So that's my opinion of how we can like pull back this AAU culture a little bit. You know.
Well, kind of piggybacking on what you said, there has to be some requirement to be a coach.
Yeah.
On any level. And I know like in Europe they're doing that, they've been doing that already, where you had to have a certain type of level of clearance to coach a certain type of kid. So if you want to coach the kids that might go pro, you have to be that level of a coach. Like you can't even talk to a kid, like that's how it is over there. The problem is anyone here is just coaching because a lot of people are just doing it for clout or to be down, to be in the mix, not because they really want to do this. You know, so like you were saying, another thing, like one thing I loved about the Jim Counts Foundation is that it's not enough of that. It's not enough development. Everything's play, throw the balls out, do what you want to do. We're not showing, like I remember I did a 20-minute workout that's supposed to replicate a college workout. That's what I'm like, well, if you want to play in college, see what we just did for 20 minutes? Try that for 2 hours. The kids look at me like I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Like I'm stupid. So like it's not enough development. Like, what's the big deal of him playing AAU in 5th, 6th, 7th grade?
He's not ready.
He could play rec, work on his game, play in the park. Like play in the park is okay. You know, like AAU's not, like that's how I feel. It's not supposed to be, there's too much you.
What about the all year?
If you're playing 10, 20 games a week, when are you working on your game? When are you practicing? So coach he doesn't know how to bounce past the box out because you ain't fucking teaching him that. How you mad at the kid? You ain't teaching him that. He's just supposed to pick it up. So like, it's just it's too much. It's too much, and like not all travel ball is AAU in my opinion. I always felt the point of AAU was to get kids into school.
That's the goal.
So like people were always like, why are you not doing AAU? Like, I'm not gonna do it unless I'm doing it right. You're not gonna just be going to this tournament and that tournament over here just to do it. Say we went to Virginia and we get a little trophy or take a picture in front of a banner. I usually have this argument time like, teams were bragging about being AAU teams, right? And I was smoking about 40 in local tournaments. So I'm like, how y'all on the road winning stuff? If I'm smoking at home, and Pete this, my best guys is on the EYBL circuit, so I ain't got my, and we smoking about 40. So I'm like, it made me look a certain way. I'm like I said before, like I would run into kids like, oh, I'm nice, but I'm like, okay, how you doing in your high school? I make my high school team. Wait a minute. So you're not good enough playing in your high school team, but you made AAU. So the problem with got flipped is there's more AAU programs than high school teams, and that's a problem.
Facts. And just to piggyback on what you guys said, it's too many non-basketball people in the basketball world. Like all you need now is a GoPro and an Instagram account, and you can call yourself a trainer. You get some cones, tennis balls, and a chair, and people are sending their kids to these people and paying them money. Like, what? And then they wonder why you show them how to dribble 20 times in front of a big orange and gray dude with his hands up that don't move, don't think, can't touch you, and then they expect them to go in a game and drop 40. It doesn't work that way. And people seem like to think that's the road to success now. And we see it all the time. You can get a kid on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. They sharp as hell with it in the gym by themselves. And once you get a body on you, it's you non-existent.
That's all it is, man. But we're gonna wrap it up as y'all here for a long time. But this was a great discussion on AAU basketball. It need to be put out there because a lot of people be itching to say it like, no, let me just chill. But we need to get it out there because whoever gonna watch this in the future will be educated, and they can't say they don't know. So now, from now on, you can just be like, man, just watch this. This is my thoughts on AAU, and get some knowledge, and hopefully parents and kids, coaches, they make better decisions in the future. So this game can kind of get back to where it was, because we all fans of the game, so we want to see the game keep elevating. And a lot of problems we spoke about with the development aspect, we see it in the NBA where guys don't even know how to guard a pick and roll. They don't even know how to play defense. They don't even know how to throw a post entry pass. It's like, how are you in the league for 5 years and you don't know how to do these little things? And it's a problem. So if it's affecting the highest level of basketball, at the lower levels, it's issues that need to be corrected. So I want to thank all you guys for coming, and see y'all on another episode of Roundtable.
I enjoyed it.
I'm with it, man.
I appreciate it, John.
Real good
I
stuff.
appreciate you too, Cardell.